It's giving me like Lois Lane. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Style for Success, Dressed Like a Boss. And today we've got one of my girls with me. Let's have a moment for the hair. I know I'm like all over the place because I'm so excited. Jane is here, who's one of my girlfriends. I've known Jane for a long time. I don't remember how long.
Maybe 6-7 years.
At least.
Yes.
Basically, when you guys see me with my wigs and you're like, oh, you're not going to say anything about the wigs? She's the wig maker. I was never a wig person until I met Jane, and now I am a believer. And she came today with the goods.
Yes.
Sporting this new hair. It's the color for me. It's the cut. It's everything. I told her that I wanted a bob, and she just came through with a whole bunch of different bobs. But yeah, I'm not gonna make this about me because it's about her today. But I know I was like, okay, I have to address the hair because I'm like, you guys are gonna be like, you didn't address the hair. So I'm addressing the hair, and the hair is everything. And I'm having a moment because I'm really feeling myself. Anywho.
You look amazing.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. But yes, I'm going to actually insert some of the clips because we've been trying on hair for at least a good 2 hours. We've been playing around with different hair cuts and all of that. So your girl's coming through with new hair this year. But this is another episode of Style for Success, Dressed Like a Boss. Jane is a boss. I am going to let her do a quick introduction, and then we're going to jump into the questions.
Oh,
so tell us about you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so
Of
excited
course.
to be here. My name is Jane Harris. I am a glueless wig maker. I make women feel and look good with glueless units. That's my job in a nutshell.
There it is. But how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for over 13 years. I made my first wig about 13 and a half years ago. Fell in love with the art and more than anything, the feeling of it. So I love what I do.
And I can just tell you, the hair, the texture. This is just one of many. Basically, any wigs that you guys have seen me wearing, the kinky wigs, the curly wigs, they're all from her. They're all from her. She delivers every time. I feel like you've been doing this before people were doing, like before wigs were a big deal. Like you've been doing this for a long time. So like, I see, literally, I was just telling her, I see things just pop up, like other companies using her content to sell their products. So just know that if it's not from the Virgin Hair Fantasy, it's not her. So yes. But anywho, I'm going to link all of her stuff in the description box, but we're going to jump right into the questions because we don't want this to be too long. It's all about you. So the first question is, what has been your career journey and how did fashion play into that journey?
That's a good question. For me, it's always been hair, but being on social media for 13 years, I've realized that they're not just buying the hair, they're buying the feeling of the hair. And that includes me dressing up, which was something that I didn't think I had to do. But they want to see the coat that goes with the hair, and they want to see the scarf, and they want to see all of that. So I became, I would say I was forced to wanting to know more. And that's when I started following you. And I'm like, show me, teach me, because you make dressing up so much fun and not as intimidating. And also I can stand next to a supermodel and feel dressed and feel amazing because I've been on them on it.
You're so kind.
No, it's for me, I feel like as a professional hairdresser or wig maker, I got that way by learning. So I don't take people in your field for granted because I feel like that's a part of my business that I have to learn and do better. Just like a makeup artist, I take their job seriously because makeup, clothes, hair, even cologne, like anything that makes that woman is important for my business. So when I found your page, I was hooked. So I'm constantly looking to see what you're doing. So yeah, that's been how fashion has played a part in my journey, which you would never think. You're like, they're just buying the hair, but no, they're buying everything else as well.
I agree. And yes, if you go to her page. What's your page on Instagram so they can follow it?
The Virgin Hair Fantasy.
She does it all. It's literally like the outfits, the makeup, the dancing. You haven't danced in a minute.
I know, I'm coming back. I had to learn some new moves. I got bored with the old moves. I'm like, we got to put some new mixes in the mix. I'm coming back.
Perfect. So y'all need to follow her page because you will be entertained. Not only is she giving you hair, she's giving you the food. Her husband's a chef.
Yes, yes.
Hers is a chef.
So we
I remember, for those of you guys that have been rocking with me on Instagram, this was years ago when I went over to your guys' studio.
Yes.
They made an amazing meal for me and fitted me with all these different wigs. I felt like a kid in the candy store. Like, because I've never, like, that was my first time ever being fitted for wigs and trying on different hair. So I was just like, one minute I had like 24 inches, the next we were doing bobs, we did everything, and it was so much fun. It's so much fun. But anyway, let's get back to the questions. Okay, so how would you describe your style for your body type?
Ooh, I love suits. I used to work corporate America. I worked for 13 years, so I had to learn how to make suits look nice and young, because my staff, I was the youngest one on the team, so my boss wanted me to wear suits. I'm like, okay, I'll just put a brooch here, I'll put a belt here, or whatever. So I feel like that kind of evolved into who I am now. I just love it. I feel like if I get a suit, an investment in a suit is an investment in multiple outfits.
Absolutely.
I can wear the blazer and then change it up. So it stemmed from like not having a lot of money to making things work. So I do more accessories rather than spending a lot of money on clothing. I'll just do accessories, and then I'll do a brooch, and then every now and then I'll re-up on my basics.
Perfect.
So my wardrobe is strategic.
Perfect. And which it should be. I feel like everything that goes into your closet should be intentional, as opposed to just buying things because, oh, that's pretty. No. Buy things that make sense and that work for your body type.
Yes.
All right. So our third question is, what was your most ridiculous buy?
Oh my gosh. Ridiculous in terms of how cheap it was.
That's different.
Yes.
Everybody's been talking about like how expensive, but yes, how cheap it was. What was that?
Mine was cheap. I started thrifting in New York. You guys were talking about thrifting. I couldn't even hold it in. Like, I was like boiling up because I love thrifting. So I discovered thrifting in New York. Very zero to no budget, and there was a thrift store across the street from my college. I would wait for the school to close so they wouldn't see me go in the thrift store, because I was like, I don't want them to know I'm thrifting. And I went in there one day and I found this amazing mosquito belt. It was 5 pounds. I was in London. That belt still exists. It's been maybe 20 years.
Oh, wow.
It was 5 pounds, which is about maybe I would say $12 now. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous black with gold buttons, like gold, that classic old school mosquito. And I still have it, and it's still beautiful. People think it's Versace. I don't know why. I guess because of the gold and black.
Yeah.
It is so old school mosquito for 5 pounds.
Wow.
$8, whatever you want to convert it to. That to me is still one thing. I'm like, that's why I love thrifting.
We were talking about thrifting because I'm not a big thrifter, so I might challenge myself and go thrifting, and I'll go thrifting and see what I can find and put together. But that is just amazing to me, because it's like normally with all the other interviews they were saying like, oh, furs or outrageous things, but that's excellent.
It's the way I look at it every so often, even when I'm not wearing it. I'm like, oh,
and that's something that you keep forever.
I love it.
Nothing beats a good find like that. Okay, talk to me about your leadership skills and what would you wear to an important meeting.
Leadership skills. I believe in leading by example. Being a woman of integrity is something that I strive to be every single day. Not only with business partners, with my kids. Like when I tell my kids I'm going to do something, I have to do it, because that makes me look bad if I don't. So even with promises to my kids, to promises with my clients, to promises with friends, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when I show up to a meeting, I like to look confident. So I love a power suit, a gorgeous power suit.
We're doing suits today.
Yeah, with a sexy brooch, or a scarf, so yes.
I love it. Okay. What does a casual day look like for you, and what would you wear on a Friday?
Ooh, casual day, some jeans and a really sexy tank top. I love sexy
bell bottoms or skinny?
Bell bottoms any day. Skinny jeans I'll do if I have some cool boots I want to show off. Yeah. But for the most part, I love bell bottoms.
I love it. And they're definitely becoming more and more of a trend again right now. So, but I feel like bell bottoms are things that are really always on trend. It's just a matter of, is it at the forefront of fashion? So there's a lot of times people are like, oh, that's out of style or whatnot. Nothing's really ever out of style. It's all about how you put it together and how you intertwine it with the trends that are present.
Perfect.
Okay. So number 6, what are your go-to pairs of shoes and how do they make you feel when you wear them?
My classic red bottoms. I love them.
The Stocates or the Bagals?
I would say the Silkate.
Yeah. Ooh,
it's just,
painful.
It's just
painful.
Very painful. But when I have those on, I know what I'm doing. I'm intentional. I'm not out there just looking, because my feet will tell me it's time to go. So, you're at that in and out business meeting or that in and out lunch. So, but when I wear them, it's that confidence, that like,
You just feel like that boss babe, that bad bee.
Yes.
You know, I didn't want to cuss
Little bit
on
of the pain.
Yeah, right?
Ah!
I've tried, and you know, my sister wears them to work. Literally.
What?
Yeah. Oh, she wears them
She's
to work.
a bold girl.
I cannot. I could barely walk literally 5 feet with them, and I've done photo shoots where I literally I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stand here. Can you throw me the shoes? And like, yeah, they're that painful to me. So if you could wear them, power to you.
Short meetings.
There you go. All right. So number 7, your go-to bag for work, play, and evening.
I would say my old school Gucci.
Can you pass it?
Yes, there's a story behind that bag. I remember when I got the bag, I couldn't afford the bag, really.
Thank you, Eddie.
I couldn't afford it. I looked at it and I saved up for it. I've had it for like 16 years.
Oh, wow. It's such a classic.
I've had it for
It's
16
gorgeous.
years. Yes.
I remember when this collection dropped. This is a good one. Yes. And it's such a great bag. It's absolutely stunning. I love the texture on it.
Too.
And it's in excellent condition.
Thank you. I love it. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with a good
16
Gucci,
years,
guys.
Seriously.
Wow.
I remember, the whole Gucci's been
Yeah, in and
I'm
out.
like, I'll keep my bag where it is.
Right.
Okay.
You know what? Sometimes it's just a matter of if you find that piece you absolutely love, works for your lifestyle, just keep it and run
That's
with it,
it.
regardless of the
Size
trends.
Thank you.
And coming from a boss, she's telling you guys, it doesn't matter what the trends are, make the trends work for you. Okay, next question. What are your closet staples and where would you wear them to?
Ooh, my husband because we're vegans and we just became, I would say, more conscious vegans when it comes to like leather goods, which is really tough conversation because someone say they're vegan, they're like, well, you have leather bags. Well, I'm not going to get rid of my old leather bags or my old leather anything. However, now that I'm purchasing things, I'm still buying leather. I'm more aware, but I became vegan for food reasons, not for, animal cruelty reasons. However, I am aware of it. So I'm but at the same time.
And there are still a lot of brands that do use leather as a byproduct. So they are, creating product or creating bags and accessories and shoes from the food we eat. So, I used to work for a leather company for many years. So, I know that it's a touchy subject, but for the most part, a lot of brands do, in a sense, I don't know, somewhat ethically sourcing the leather. But yeah, that's definitely one of those little tricky situations. But yeah.
But I walk with no judgment. I believe women, we go through, speaking on women, we go through so much. Just let a woman be. Let her be.
That part.
Just let her be. If she wants to put on a wig, she wants to wear leather, she wants to eat meat, you just let her. So I'm that kind of, But I am aware. My husband bought me these Christian Dior like boots that are just amazing. They're very casual, but I wear them to church. Like I make sure I wear them as much as I can.
Girl, you gotta get that cost per wear.
They go with everything. So
I love it.
I really love them, and they're vegan leather. So I'm enjoying them for now. Not to say you may catch me buying leather now. I'm not saying I won't, but I'm aware of the different fabrics now. I'm aware of trying my best to do the best I can.
Perfect. I love it. Okay, so we do have a follower question, and the question is, what is that one thing you're at, like the pinnacle of your career, the one person maybe you want to style or do? What is that, that ceiling for you in terms of what you want to do for your business?
That is such a good question because, this is the year. It's been like over a decade, and I'm like, going back to why I want to continue to do this and how I want to continue to do this. It would have been styling someone for the Grammys. We did. It would have been national television.
I was gonna say you've been styling like Idris Elba's what's her name?
Yes, Sabrina.
Sabrina, you did her.
I did
like
her
you've
for
done
two awards. Even the Golden Globe, she used our hair for that. So and another thing that we just accomplished, styled somebody from my wildest dreams that I would have never thought would DM me to do their hair. Done. Can't say who it is.
Yeah,
NDA.
I know those NDAs.
When you put something on your list to achieve, make sure you
write it down.
No NDA.
No NDA. Oh,
because God could accomplish your dreams for you, but
true,
you didn't ask for no NDA. So
true.
then you can't even tell anybody about it.
I know. So right? No NDA.
I want to style the best who will not require me to sign an NDA so I can show it off.
Can you negotiate that though?
Nah. Not when it comes to like a list. When you're like, I just barely got in the door.
Yeah.
I'm like this.
Right?
So I can't even say nothing like that. I'm like, just let me sign, sure. But I think for me now, I have never been so clear on what I want to be able to run a profitable hair business online while homeschooling my 3 amazing children. That balance is my sweet spot. That balance is what makes me excited. That balance is, it just takes away I don't care as much for things and material things and, being. You've been there, you've done it. You've been there, you've done it. I don't care to be approved by a group of certain people. So it's like, so I don't feel the need to have to feel among, For me, what makes me really happy, what I like to brag with is the fact that I can just run a profitable business while homeschooling my kids. Whatever that means.
I love that.
And it kind of doesn't have anything to do with money. I just want it to be profitable enough so I can go in and out and be a homeschool mom that I'm really.
But you're doing it. Your business is booming. It's been booming for over a decade, right? So you're living your dream. You're living your wildest dreams, and not a lot of people can say that. I'm living the dream. I am living my wildest imagination. So kudos to you. That is amazing.
Thank you so
well
much.
done. I already knew you were doing well. I always knew, but to be able to hit that ultimate goal for yourself, that is a blessing. And I think that's also a lesson to be learned that, you don't necessarily have to find the joy in material things. You can find the joy in something what others would not even think about as ultimate joy. So, I think that is a good way for us to rethink what joy means and what pure happiness and the ultimate goal is, as a business person too.
And you know what? I love that when women, material things are wonderful if that's what you want.
Yes.
But I find that people are liking material things because it looks good on someone else. Yeah. You have to fight. Like, I love this bag when I bought it, and I love it because it's Gucci and I love the design. Mm-hmm. It made me happy. Mm-hmm. Now, if material things make you happy, go for it. But don't like material things because you saw someone else doing it and you haven't done your own soul searching to figure out what makes you happy.
I think that part too, that soul searching to actually discover what is joy for me. What does joy look like for me? Is it a Birkin? Is it a, is it a holiday? Is it a vacation? Is it, so yes, I think joy truly is different, and success is different depending on the individual, but you have to discover that on your own and not let the world dictate that for you. So, okay, so we got one more question. This is so good. I'm going to insert some of the clips too of, just the hair and all of that. And guys, I've got new hair for this year, so stay tuned for that. But the last question is, what would your advice be for someone who works in your field or in the corporate world that wants to elevate their style or wants their style to match their career path?
Ooh. I would say take online courses and read books. If there's anything I can attribute to where I am in this part of my journey, it didn't come from somebody around the corner just say, Jane, by the way, I think, no, it came from a book, and it came from an online course where I read this book and I became somebody different the next day. So I would say invest in books and courses from people that are doing great in your field that you like, and just binge watch everything they put out. Take an online course. If they're authors, read a book that they've published. Books, please, books.
And how would you tie in that? How would you then tie in style to that?
Okay, like for example, the first book I read that kind of brought me into this style world was A to Z by Rachel Zoe. I never read any style book on anything, but there was something about her energy, her charisma. And then reading the book, I realized how her journey in life determined her style.
Interesting.
Based on what she loved. I was like, oh. And then Michelle Obama is another example of people just fall in love with her. It's Michelle, and she's knowledgeable, she's smart and all that. But Michelle has this really classic style that people are drawn to from her, exposing her arms. So I think fashion is always that behind the scenes thing that you love about people, but you just can't put your finger on it. For you, it's obvious because you're a style icon, but for some people who are just everyday,
you just call me a style icon. Thank you.
Over 10 years, that's iconic. The Beatles were doing it for 10 years and it became super, seriously, 10 years, that's what it takes for you to be an expert in whatever field, you are in. 10 years, that's over 10,000 hours. That's a lot of hours that you've been doing it. So you are definitely a style icon, and I love what you do.
Thank you.
So
vice versa.
Thank you. So because you're a style, that's one thing they're going to look at. But for me, they're looking at hair. But in the background, they're falling in love with something, but they're not quite connecting it to clothes. I just like her. But the clothes play a big part of that. Fashion plays a big part.
I love that because it's so funny because you're right. Like, I've never, yes, there were so many things about Michelle Obama, for an example, or Rachel Zoe that I've loved. But you're right. The way they present themselves to the world does a lot.
It's so unique.
Yes.
Rachel Zoe is almost like an effortless chic, almost like hippie-ish with style edge. And Michelle is just classic, but you're like, sometimes she'll expose her arms, so it gives you the little edge. Makes her mysterious almost. So yes.
And it ties in so well with her personality.
100%.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you
I got the interview. I got new hair. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for stopping by.
This is amazing.
This was so much fun. Guys, make sure you follow Jane. It is the Virgin Hair Fantasy on Instagram. Check out the website. She's got wigs for days. Name it. And when you go to her, just tell her Monica sent you. Tell her Monica sent you. But no, she will take care of you. Jane, so do you always make house calls like this? Or is this just special treatment that I'm getting?
But I have something coming up where people can actually have access to our fantasy chair. That's what we're calling it. So we'll be announcing very soon. Just stay tuned.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you. If you guys have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram if you're not following already. It's Odd by Monty on Instagram as well as TikTok. We're going to have some little short form like speed questions that we're going to do that will be on Instagram as well as TikTok. And we're trying to get back on Pinterest too. So basically it's Odd by Monica, or Odd by Monty rather, on all platforms. Guys, thank you for watching. We love you. Leave your comments. If you have questions for Jane, leave them in the comment section. I will have all her information in the description box, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.